Now, I encountered this video out there in the wild, why World of Warcraft doesn't feel as immersive anymore. I don't know how this dude made a 17-minute video, but there's only one answer. The game is too damn fast.
Today I want to talk about why World of Warcraft doesn't feel as immersive as it used to. And that's not to say that retail WoW isn't immersive. There's plenty of times I feel immersed in retail WoW.
The only time you feel immersed in retail WoW is when you rage quit and go outside to touch grass. That is the only way to feel immersed, because you're immersing yourself in the real world rather than the garbage that is called retail.
But there was something about classic WoW that really just...
That's what he meant,
It was like
I think.
the pinnacle of immersion. Like when you played the game, you felt like you were in the Barrens. You felt like you were in Feralus. You felt like you were in Tanarus, right? All these different zones. And I think there's a few things that kind of play into that classic WoW did that retail WoW doesn't do. And so I kind of want to just go over some of those things today, because I wrote down a few bullet points of why I think all of this is. And so let's just jump right into it with classic WoW is that slower RPG type of game. And you hear this all the time, right, people?
There you go. There, you can end the video right here. You called it. Man, he's right. True and real. Very, very based. Now, I don't know how he's going to elaborate on that, but I think he's going to go into more fine details, because the game needs to slow down. It's like, it's the root of all things. So I guess he's just going to see how it went, right? Just to talk about all the little stuff. I appreciate that.
Was like, it's a slow
Let's wait and
RPG
see.
game. Some people don't like that. Some people like this is boring. And then the modern game is much more like action RPG. And
Yeah.
while I think those are kind of great to compare and contrast, I think one big factor stands with these two, and that's friction, right? And so classic WoW is all about friction, and slowly either removing that friction or kind of like learning to appreciate that friction in a way. While retail WoW is much more about reducing all of the friction, like just reducing as much friction as possible in various ways. So let me give you some examples.
It's teleporting you to the mountaintop without needing to climb. That's what he's trying to say. Absolutely, he's 100% right. And that's exactly why people don't like retail. I mean, listen, someone is going to pull the 9 million players argument. Don't. Okay, we've been over this too many times. It's 9 million bots. Enough, okay? You can be that stupid. You can believe it. Please, just, oh my god, like these type of people. I already know I'm gonna get that comment.
Examples, right? It's like when people bring up walking versus flying. In classic WoW, you had to walk everywhere. You know, you start out the game, you have to walk through Durotar, you have to walk through the Barrens, you have to walk through all these places, right? That's friction. It's,
yes.
I want to be able to fly. I want to be able to get my mount and just, you know, move faster and not have to do this.
And stuff happens while you're walking, by the way. That's why flying is so frowned upon these days, because people know, like, flying completely deteriorated the friction of the game. It didn't even deteriorate it, it just deleted it. So, yeah, there's barely any friction. If you played retail, I played Midnight, unfortunately, my condolences, right? It's so bad. You have dragon flying, it's cool, it's fast, you go from A to B in a matter of seconds, but you don't really play the game. You're playing a solo game. It's definitely not an MMO, or at least it doesn't feel like it.
But by being forced to do that, it actually makes you stop and kind of be aware of your surroundings, right? Like when you're walking through a zone, you go, oh, there's these mobs over there. I need to be careful of those mobs. There's
imagine having danger in the world.
I should go look at.
Crazy
right?
concept.
And you're always looking around and being aware because you're just moving through the zone. Now you could just go on auto run and be like whatever, but that's more of like once you kind of know the zone, right? But now in the game, you just get flying and you fly around and that's it, right? You just fly over stuff and you're like, oh, is that something I need to look at? I don't even know, right? And so sure, you could fly around and stop and look at something and fly somewhere else and look at that's what I do for Pointless Top 10, honestly. But it does remove something, right? Like that friction has been removed. And you can kind of say the same thing for instances, right? It's why people go, oh, remember when you had to run to the instance and summon people and then go in, right? Versus just open your menu and click do dungeon, get into a queue and it pops and you're in the dungeon, right? That's friction. You're removing that element of friction, which I think in return is a form of immersion. And so that slow RPG feel I think plays into that because sure, you have that source of friction of, oh man, I have to walk everywhere, it's slow, but then you get your movement abilities and you're like, hey, this is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
I can move a little faster, right? I can, get
Such a great point. He made such a fantastic point there because you used to have solution for such problem and it always felt good whenever you achieve that. Same thing goes for the mount itself, by the way, like the normal mount, not TBC flying mounts. If we're talking strictly vanilla, the moment you hit 40 and you manage to save up the gold for that first mount, boy, you feel that change immediately. It's crazy, and I'm not even gonna bother mentioning the epic mount, which is 10 times faster, right? It's so crazy good. And the only reason that you appreciate it is because you get it at level 40. In Ascension World of Warcraft, which is a private server, you get your first mount for, Classic Plus, right? You get it, I think, level 4 or something like that. And it's horrible. It's one of the things that I hated about the server that completely made me just not tolerate it, to say the least. Because it completely skipped the entire premise of Classic. Classic needs to be slow. That's the definition for Classic that I think most people hold.
Around and explore a little bit better, then you get your ground mount.
Yeah. As a Guild Wars 2 player, I tried to play WoW and I didn't even live the tutorial. Man, you have any idea how many WoW players are saying the same about Guild Wars 2?
You're like, okay, that was pretty cool, and I saved up enough money.
It's funny.
It gives you this sense of progression.
But yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest factors. It gives you the RPG progression system of like, I was slow, now I'm less slow, now I'm getting a lot faster, and now I'm going fast because I got my epic mount, right? Or, I mean, you could even play into like Burning Crusade. Like you started with ground mounts, and then you eventually got flying, even though it was very slow flying, right? It was all sources of friction that you remove by playing the game and just earning stuff. Now, another form of that, I would say, is the old like arrows, right? Like you had to buy your arrows. You had to buy reagents to do stuff. And while that is annoying, right? You're like, oh, I ran out of arrows, I gotta go buy them. There is an element of immersion to that. Like, hey, I'm a hunter, I'm buying my arrows, I'm buying food, I'm feeding my pet, right? All these different things. And I don't think your pet.
And also, it made one legendary bow extremely cool. Oh man, I forgot the name. Was it Quelf? No, wait, what? Oh my god. The bow name just slipped my mind. It was the cool hunter bow from the raid. Ah, damn it. Anyone members? I literally forgot the name. I'll check it out. I'll check it out after. My bad. It completely slipped my mind. I even remember some of the flavor text. You like pull the string back and like an arrow conjure or something like Rock Delar. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, exactly. For some reason, I remembered it from Hearthstone. I don't know why. The image just popped to my mind. Never mind that. But yeah, exactly. It was so cool, right? It was amazing. And you can only have this type of weapon if you have arrows. So I really wish they bring arrows back. Maybe not the same way where you have like, infinite stacks clogging up your bag. But in some sort of a different way. I really wish arrows would make a comeback.
That should run away from that feature.
And also, I really wish it would come back in a form of you can upgrade arrows and you can equip different arrows. I think that would be cool, like equipping poison arrows, equipping enchanted arrows, something like that. That is unique to Hunter.
It, although I get why they did it, I guess.
Surely Blizzard would take the mental and do that.
Kind of bring you into the world. It makes you feel like, again, you're role-playing. You're like, I am a hunter. I have bought my ammo and I have my ammo, right? And now it's just kind of like, I'm a hunter. It's just, I'm shooting my gun. I don't have to buy arrows or bullets or whatever. And so, again, that's a form of friction. It's a little thing you have to do, but that little thing can add an element of immersion. Now, adding on to that, I would say that hardcore classic WoW actually adds to that friction and immersion, right? Because now, if you mess up,
yeah, I was about to say Quell Delar.
So you're trying to make these potions, like you're getting potions to buff your stuff up. You're trying to increase your stats. You're making sure that everything is correct, and you're going to be as strong as possible when you go out into the world, so that you don't die. Because the ultimate level of friction is you die and you start over, and you're like, oh my god, this is terrible, right? And so that becomes very immersive because now you're just like, it's essentially real life in the game. And I think that's one of the reasons the classic WoW is also so much fun, is you're hitting like max levels of friction at that point. Because if you die, you start over. And then in retail WoW, or even just normal classic WoW or whatever, if you die, you just respawn and there's no friction there. You're like, whatever, I just keep going. Now that brings me to my next point, which is the musical immersion. And the musical immersion is one of my favorite parts of playing WoW. Like when you play classic WoW and you hear that ambient music wherever you are, like in the Barrens or in a forest, wherever it might be, it really hits. Like it makes you feel like you're in that zone, you're a part of the game. And sometimes it gives you that feeling of you're not even listening to music. It's almost like you're just there.
I love this guy. Nah, this guy's a G. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. No, that's absolutely true. I played, unfortunately, Season of Discovery just a couple of days ago. Even though I quit because it's just same lame rehashed garbage, I loved leveling in the Baron so much, dude. Just the music, it truly feels like you there. Even on stream, which is very difficult to disconnect yourself from, like, you know, try to imagine you're from a streamer perspective. I mean, you know, minus the doing crimes on Twitch and all that stuff, just imagine you're a streamer. You need to be on chat and in the game. You need to kind of split your attention. Bro, I completely lost myself in the game and I went silent for like minutes on end, right? Sometimes even an hour. I barely speak because I get immersed killing Quellbores. That's insane. And only World of Warcraft can pull me this way. No other game has managed to do that. Literally no other game. And it's all due to the music. It's so good. And I will say, you know, to retail credit, I don't think the music has dropped off significantly. I still think that retail World of Warcraft music is still kind of good. I did enjoy Midnight music. It wasn't as good as, let's say, Warlords of Draenor. Worlds of Draenor music was top tier, in my opinion. I still listen to the soundtrack. Or Pandaria. Pandaria was goated. Even BFA had some really good tunes, but it was good. It was still good.
The music belongs there, and I think that's something that's like really powerful, because I always have the music on when I'm playing just really any video game, but especially WoW. And that's not to say retail doesn't have that, because there's actually a lot of times in retail WoW I've felt very immersed from the music, like the Undermine, honestly. Places like Zuldazar.
Yeah, but the problem is you have 7 different NPCs yapping in your ear about irrelevant garbage. Like, that is the problem. It's like, oh, okay, I'm about to be immersed, and then it's like 8 different RP sessions that you didn't ask for, just the unsolicited advice of Jaina and Thrall yapping in your ear. Nobody wants that. It completely screws up the immersion, and that's why I'm always advocating for less RP in retail World of Warcraft.
Drustvar, even like the Isle of Dorn had some really good music at times. Like there's a lot of good music in retail WoW that is immersive, but I think classic World of Warcraft just had, it was like the perfect amount.
Classic had
like
less noise.
Felt perfect. Like I think that's, like, to me, classic World of Warcraft music is almost like the pinnacle of video game music. Like, it's just phenomenal. And so I think that is also another element of why it felt so immersive. And speaking of zones, that actually brings me to my next point, which is sometimes in retail WoW, going to zones can pull you out of that immersion because you get kind of warped back to periods that have already happened. And so let's say I'm going to Booty Bay as a great example, right? And I see the goblins just repairing Booty Bay, and I'm like, man, it's been like, what, 16, 17 years of the goblins repairing Booty Bay?
Yeah.
And sure, you could make the argument like they're
Don't worry, next expansion, surely Gazlo would come in and fix everything. That's okay. He's just too busy, I don't know, drinking some elixirs.
like actual construction, they're taking forever to get it done.
He's chugging Noggenfogger
There is
elixirs.
something to that, to where you see a lot of these old things. For example, like Stone Talon Mountains. When you go there, there's like the big war going on with Garrosh and the Alliance and stuff, and you're like, this already happened. And so, obviously, the logistical real life part of you kicks in. It's like, yeah, you know, this is an older expansion, right? Like, they're gonna update it eventually, hopefully. And it's, you know, it's just part of it. But that's still something that takes you out of the game, right? Like, you have to get out of the game mindset to realize that and be like, you know, this is just an old expansion, because you're...
Exactly. And let me add something on top of it. It's so weird that you go to let me think of a zone. Man, why did WoW Zone's name just escape my mind? Like I wanted to say winter spring, but that's not the one I mean. The woods one, the one with the woods where the alliance and the horde fight. Why it completely like Ashenvale? Oh, dude, what the hell is wrong with me today? Okay, so you go to Ashenvale and you see the horde and the alliance kind of fighting each other for resources, and then you go up and the story tells you that they're cool now, but they really aren't, and that's just confusing the hell out of you. It's so weird, it's inconsistent, and it's all due to Blizzard keeping piling on expansions on top of each other. Nothing in the old world makes sense anymore. And that's a huge problem that actually really, really hurts the game long term because you're getting no new players. New players can't immerse themselves inside of the world, they're losing their interest, they're dropping out quickly, and you're basically staying with the same old veterans over and over again. Eventually, you're gonna run out of whales, right? I know right now it seems like an impossibility, but it will happen in a couple of years, surely.
If you're playing in the game, you're just like, this is weird. Like, what's going on? This happened 15 years ago. Why is this still occurring in this zone, right? And Classic WoW doesn't have that because it's just all static. Like, it's Classic WoW. The zones are the way they are. It really does pull you out of a zone when you go there and everything's just kind of outdated and things have already been completed and you're just like, yeah, I don't know. It's that's the way it is, right? And now, having said that, retail does do a lot of stuff well, right? Like raiding and Mythic Plus and collecting.
That's the only thing they're doing well. Everything else is trash. Okay, I want to hear what he has to say here.
Pets and mounts and transmogs and all that stuff.
That's
right?
the only stuff.
All that stuff. I think it's fun. Well, actually, I don't really like Mythic Plus. It's not my thing. I'm bad at the game. But sometimes it almost...
Okay, he literally said retail has a lot of things. And then he gave the 3 things that's going on for retail. Literally, there's nothing else good about retail, save for Mythic Plus, rating, and collectibles. These are the only things that makes retail survive. Without them, retail's cooked. If you make Classic Plus with today current rating, people will never play retail again.
It feels like there's too much to do, and that can kind of take you out of it. For an example, when I logged in for this past patch, I got to the new zone with all the mushrooms all over and stuff, and I was like, this is pretty cool, right? And I was going through, and I got it all done, and I was like, well, that's that. And it didn't really feel like I immersed myself in this new patch zone. It didn't really feel like I was like, whoa, I'm in the game right now, and I'm loving the aesthetic. Like, I thought...
Why? You got a command prompt bug? Like, why weren't you immersed? Wait, your NPCs glitch through the mountains? I mean, hey, that's okay. Wait, did you get the same dialogue 3 times in a row again? Oh, okay, maybe those things actually hurt immersion a little bit. I don't know. But, hey, at least we have a pretty solid PTR, no? What do you say? Guys, Blizzard would never finish a buggy PTR into live service game. No, they would never do that.
The zone
never.
Was cool. I thought it looked great, but I didn't feel immersed in the zone. And I realized that part of that is due to the way the game is currently structured. So we have things like weeklies, we have dailies, we have all these different currencies.
Yes.
And so when I wanted to go do the new zone, I was like, all right, where do I go? And there was like a million quests all over because I didn't do much of the last patch. And I was like, okay, here's a quest, but is this quest for the new patch or is this for the old patch? Then people in chat were like, Crendor, what are you talking about? Dude. It's from the previous patch and like this one. I'm like, I play this game and I'm confused.
That's so true. Oh my god, I'm pausing constantly in this video about this guy. He's just spitting fire and brimstone. That's crazy. Exactly. Dailies should be abolished. Weeklies should be abolished. Monthlies should be abolished. Everything in World of Warcraft that forces you to log in to the game on a weekly or daily basis should be gone. There is no such room for this in an MMORPG. I know that nowadays it's the meta and everyone's doing it. I don't want to see it in World of Warcraft, okay?
Imagine a new player
garbage
here trying to be like, hey, a new patch, and there's like stuff all over the place. Like it pulls you out. Again, like I'm talking about immersion here, and from a immersive standpoint, being in the game trying to like figure out which quest is which and like dailies and weeklies and stuff. And
it's all technical.
Like, what am I even doing here? Like, why is this happening? And it's just it's almost overwhelming. And it feels
it's not
like
almost, it is.
When I do that type of stuff, I'm doing chores. rather than immersing myself in the game and just like experiencing the game. And I think that's my biggest issue with modern WoW is when I log in, it's like I have to pull up my chore list and like check stuff off. Like, did I do my weekly? Did I do my daily? Did I do my dungeon? Did I do it right? And you're going down the list and you're just checking. And sure, you can kind of do that in classic WoW. Like, you can make a checklist for yourself of like, here's the things I have to do.
Of kill 10 quillboars? Which checklist you need in classic? Listen, even badges for dungeons weren't that big of a deal. Like, yes, there were dailies, true, but I mean, once you got enough badges, you were kind of done with it. So it's not that big of a deal in my opinion, and you can afford to miss a day or two. It honestly wasn't that bad. So this form of dailies was acceptable. I would still be happy if it was abolished, but this was okay. I guess it was fine. But no, he's absolutely right. These are chores. These are dark patterns. You don't want this in your games. This is something you do to grab the attention of whales and addicts. Basically, it completely turns away people such as myself. Because I'm not into that FOMO garbage, okay? I'm just too old for that shit. I'm 28, dude. Like, I literally had my birthday, 3 days ago. I'm old. I'm about to be bald. I had enough. Okay, I don't want any of this. I don't want to waste my time doing a checklist. I just want to have fun and immerse myself in a game that I love with a community that I appreciate.
But it's not the game kind of telling you what to do. And so when you do that, I think the immersive part of just going into the world and being like, what am I going to do in this world, right? Like, you're just a part of it. One of the things I love about classic WoW is you're just another adventurer out in the world, and you're going on the hero's journey. And you're just trying to make it in the world, right? Like, you start out, you're just some person, and then you play through the world, you go through the world, and you kind of earn your stripes and you earn your title. Yeah. And it's like,
I'm
hey,
28.
You know what? Now you are like a pretty important part of this world. Now you are becoming a hero. And I think the weird part about retail WoW that kind of pulls me out of that immersion aspect is they're like, it's you, champion, the chosen one. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess I've been playing for like 20 years, right? It's like, all right, yeah. But then somebody that's been playing for like 5 years also gets the same treatment. Somebody that's been playing for like 3 months can also be at the same tier of you.
No, that's not a real problem. The real problem is them calling you a champion and then you need to give them 10 bear asses. That's the problem. It's completely immersion breaking, and in the old World of Warcraft world, you were a nobody. You just bunch yourself with another hoodlum, and you made progress together. Eventually, you teamed up with 39 more hoodlums, and you went to a raid. That's how it worked. It made sense, and it was beautiful. There was no reason whatsoever to change it into a single player where you're the sole hero of Azeroth. You're the one saving it. It's cringe. It's cringe self-insert millennial writing. Nobody likes that shit save for a few Blizzard employees. And you need to make sure that this is gone. Along with the employees, by the way. Just completely give the boot to Holly Longdale and the entire HR department.
And they're just like, you're the chosen one, man. Like, you're gonna save
you team
the
up with
world
woke
and help
Labubu.
Azeroth and all this stuff. And then you're like, okay. And then you talk to your friend, and your friend's like, no, wait, I'm the chosen one. I'm gonna save Azeroth. And some other guy.
We're all the chosen ones.
I'm the hero. I'm gonna save Azeroth. And so it just becomes like
yeah, for that reason, I hated Legion artifacts for the sake of soul immersion. I think artifacts themselves as an idea were great, but like in terms of immersion, like, oh, you get an Ashbringer, you get an Ashbringer, it was it was way immersion breaking. It was way too much.
The gear argument, where if everybody's a hero, then like nobody's a hero, or if everybody's like a chosen champion hero, I guess I should say, because like everybody's a hero technically. It's kind of like the epics, right? If everybody has epic gear, it's not epic anymore. It's just common. Like, if everybody has the same gear, it's just common gear. It's just they painted it purple and go like, yeah, that's epic. And I think a lot of the lore that ties into the world-ending threats every expansion plays into that. Like, we need the ultimate hero champion to save the world, right? And it almost like amplifies that need of you wanting to be this big hero. And like, to me personally, it just becomes this thing of, I don't want to be the most important person in all of Azeroth or the hero of the world. Like, I just want to be somebody that's a part of the world. And that doesn't mean I have to be a blacksmith or whatever, but
Azeroth bleeds.
Like some little guy
needs
living
you.
in a house somewhere. But like, I want to just be part of the world in some way.
It was
that
so
isn't
good.
The most important person.
So good to
in the
laugh
world.
on.
And I think that's just a much more immersive experience. And there might be other people that like being the champion of Azeroth. That's fine. And it's kind of hard to even.
If they love it, just play a single player game. MMORPGs are not for you, son. Like, if you love Magni yapping in your ear that you're the sole hero of Azeroth, dog, you're in the wrong game. Like, this is not for you, okay? Like, just go play something else. Go be the hero in whatever game you choose to be in. World of Warcraft is not your thing.
Dodge that at this point, because we have killed Titans, we've killed Arthas, we've killed like Illidan, we've killed all these heroes and everything. So we technically are like these insane champions, but I just hope they figure out a way to just knock it down a few pegs. You know what I mean? Because I'm just it really does.
You can do it without completely nuking the current story. You cannot do that because it's gone too far. You've already done too much. And I don't think any reoccurring villain would make the cut. So I think Zealotef should kind of end the world with The Last Titan, and I think Classic Plus should be the new standard. I think Blizzard does have a way out with this, and I really hope they would take that ticket.
Let's pull you out of it when everybody else is also a hero, and you're like, I'm the hero, and it's just, yeah, like I said, if everyone's the hero, nobody's the hero. Now, with all that being said, I kind of want to wrap this up with one of my favorite parts of retail WoW in terms of immersion, and that's a lot of the community events or holiday stuff, because...
Yes! He's talking about the Dark Spear Troll Rainbow Dash Run. Yes, Chief. Dude, for some reason I missed it. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I heard it was like it's a great event. Wait, did it actually happen? I don't even know. You know, I'm not been following up with the times, but people were excited for it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. There was a lot of discourse around it.
Much like the soup event with the Tuskar, it's not the most
soup
important event. It's nothing crazy, right?
I thought
You're
you meant
just helping
something
a
else.
Tuskar chef make soup, but it was one of my favorite parts of Dragonflight. Like, you just show up at the Tuskar area, and they're just like, hey, come on down, we're making a big pot of soup, and they're just stirring it up, and everyone's contributing and gathering stuff, and you see everybody else, like, contributing. You're like, dude, this is so fun, right? Like, everyone's working together, and it creates that sense of, like, immersion in the world and community, and you're all helping the Tuskar make this soup, and they're just like, hey, everybody come eat it, right? Those are some of my favorite events, like even helping the Ancients in the Emerald Dream. I enjoyed doing that, and I'm sure there's people that didn't enjoy doing it, but like those were some of my favorite events. And so it's one of the reasons I love holidays, where you have things like Brewfest, and everybody's gathered around at the festival, and everyone's, you know, drinking and running around, and it's like more music that immerses you in, right? And so I really love those types of things because it makes it feel like the world is alive. It makes it feel like everybody's out and about, they're doing their thing, and, you know, it's nothing groundbreaking. We're not saving the world, but we're just living in the world of Warcraft. And so it actually gets really depressing or kind of sad or eerie to me even when I go to something like Brewfest and it's like an empty server or just nobody's there. Like maybe it's towards the end of Brewfest.
Or it completely filled with bots. Yeah, don't forget about option number 3 there, which is the most likely one.
People have already gotten all their stuff, and you're just like walking around, it's just empty. And I'm just kind of like, I guess I'll get a beer or do my ram racing. It's just you walking around alone. Maybe one person like runs by, and it's just like, and you're just like, okay, like that's another thing that just pulls me out of the immersion, because I'm like, where are the people at? Like, is the game dying? Like, like that really does pull me out. So I think the main point I'm trying to get at here with everything that I've gotten at is there's a lot of different things that make up immersion, and some of them impact the game, I'd say, more than others, and some of them maybe even impact certain people more than others, right? Like some people might feel very immersed when they're doing all these like RPG elements, like buying arrows or doing these things, and other people might not feel immersed at all. I'd say it's also a very subjective type of thing to, you know, deal with, like different.
He's absolutely right, and that's what actually makes developing an MMO so difficult, because you always have that constant struggle balancing between immersion and gameplay. Right? There's always this discussion, and Jeff Kaplan used to talk about it like way back in the day when he actually worked on World of Warcraft, right? You know, the famous quotes of dragons don't actually hide loot beneath their wings. Yeah, you know, that's true, right? That's obviously. So, I mean, yeah, you always have that constant discussion, but I think if Blizzard actually were talented and had some competent people, they would have managed to pull this off like they had back in the day.
People are going to have different things that immerse them into a world, but at the end of the day, I think most people want to be immersed in the world. Most people want to live in the world and feel like they're a part of this world, and it really can pull you out of it when so many of these little things add up, and it hits a point where you're just like, why am I not feeling that sense of immersion? And I think all of these little things going one way or the other way, right, making you feel immersed or not feel immersed, really do add up and change how you feel. And so yeah, I just want to make that video and rant about immersion because it's been a topic that's just been on my head for a while. So thanks for watching. If you want more videos, I just made...
Yeah, dude, this guy's great. I think that's the second video of him that I watched. This video, he absolutely cooked. Thank YouTube for recommending it to me, I think. But I'm gonna leave a link in the description. You guys should watch it for yourself. Give him a like. That was amazing.